Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk about why you must have clearly defined goals or else you will end up enslaved to triviality. There's a great quote from a book called Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert A. Heinlein, and it says this: "In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until ultimately we become enslaved by it." This is an important point. Look at average people and what they do. This is why I stress not being average. This is why I stress you have to snap out of that matrix of sorts where people are just plugged into being average, being like everyone else, doing the same things everybody else is doing, thinking the same way, having the same relaxation activities, basically being conformed to this world. Because when you do that, you just go through life in these trivialities, existing, not thriving, not becoming better each and every day, just existing. And you become enslaved into the system of doing things like everyone else does. Now, certainly you may have a different job than your neighbor has, but you watch sports on the weekend, you go out to eat a couple times a week, or whatever it is that's custom in your area, that's the average thing to do. You're just falling in line with that. That's what average people do, at least. Now, presumably, if you're watching a video like this, you're not one of those average people, or you're trying to snap out of being one of those average people. This does not mean you have to just do the opposite of everything, whatever other people are doing, like you're just trying to be a nonconformist. It's not about that. It is about becoming the person who you really are. And that's a unique person, a peculiar person, is what the scripture says. Someone who's set apart for God, who is doing things in a different way, who isn't just being like everyone else, who isn't just conforming to the world in its way of doing things, but really has a unique take on life and does things in their own way. This, of course, does not mean you would do something that would hurt other people. There are social norms that are good and they exist for a good reason. They keep the cohesion of society and they keep people behaving cordially to one another. That's good. There's nothing wrong with any of that. I'm talking about these limited ways of being that average people fall into. There are so many of them that it could take hours to describe them all. But you know the basic premise of what average people are doing. You know how they are enslaved to this system and the way they do things. And by system, I mean there's just this kind of average mediocrity that just kind of stagnates the air that average people get into. And they don't even question it. That's where it becomes a system, because there's no questioning of, why am I doing this? Why do I get up every day and go to a job I hate? If they do ever even question that, it'll be like, well, but I have to pay the bills. Or, well, you know, it's hard to get a job right now. They have all these excuses that aren't real answers. What they are is things that keep them in the same rut of mediocrity, the same enslavement. They never break out of the shackles. So those rare few who do question, they just tell themselves lies that keep them enslaved in the same trivialities that they are performing each and every day. And this, my friend, is a tragic way to live. You are a being created in the image and likeness of God. You can be like God. Understand that. Jesus said that you can have whatsoever you say. That's powerful. You're not weak. You're not normal. You're not average. You can literally have whatsoever you say. And yet most people fall into ruts where they don't have what they say. Or if they do get what they say, the tragic thing is that they're saying things they don't want. So instead of getting good things and blessings and God's glory and grace, they get bad things and curses and problems and issues of life that are not what they want. And yet, it's what they've spoken. It's what they believed for. So of course it's what they get. But you as a powerful co-creator with God can create a better reality. You don't have to be trapped in this rut of doing the same things each and every day, of being conformed to this world, of doing average things, of being an average person. There's no person who names the name of Christ who should be average. You should be so far ahead of other people. And I'm not saying you have to be the richest person on the planet. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying your life should be so unique and different, have so many things going on in it, so many ways you're contributing to make the world a better place, so many ways you're adding value to the world, that it is just so amazing all that you get done each and every day. Instead, most people, would you say that about them? Of course not. The average person, if you took their life today and you went back a month, it would look identical. The same day could be replicated dozens or hundreds of times in a year. It's just so bland. It's like being enslaved, truly. That they're just conformed to this world and following whatever the world prescribes to them to do. But you must snap out of that. If you're trapped in that rut of being average, of being like everyone else, of performing your daily trivia, being enslaved by it, you need to really get some clearly defined goals. Now, what's important about this is you can make clearly defined goals and do nothing. So that's not going to help. But make the clearly defined goals, and then each day take some steps toward accomplishing those goals. Now, it doesn't have to be the biggest steps in the world. Just do something each and every day toward that goal. Now, don't make it this like, oh, I read an article about starting a business. If your goal is to start a business, do more than that. But put some effort toward that goal. Like I said, it doesn't have to be big. You might have other things going on in your day that you have to tend to right now, but you're getting out of that daily trivia, out of that rut that you're in. And you have a clearly defined goal. Now, you may say, I don't know what I really want. I don't know what clearly defined goal I should set. Really examine yourself and pray and seek the Lord's wisdom on this. Is there something in your heart, desire that keeps popping up? It might be something you're ashamed to even say. Well, I really wanted to have a mansion, but I feel like that's so selfish and greedy. Why? You can have whatsoever you say. If that's the goal, write that down. I'm not telling you to get only goals that are materially based, but be honest with yourself. Don't lie and put some, well, I want to feed the world. If that's not really your goal, don't put it down. You're not tricking God. You're not making God think you're more holy than you really are. Be honest. The desire in your heart is for a reason. Now, you see, you may be thinking about you want a mansion, not realizing that going down this path, maybe you go to a few open houses for mansions. You have no money to get it. You don't know how you're going to get it. Nothing like that. But you just go. And then you meet someone that becomes a business contact, and that leads to you earning millions of dollars. And then at that point, because you've improved so much and you've gotten to be such a better person, you don't even want the mansion anymore. But if you hadn't went down that path, you never would have met that person, never would have got the business going that led to your millions of dollars that you're now blessing the world with. So don't question why this thing, that is goal I have, doesn't really seem very noble. Don't even question any of that. Just write it down and take steps toward it. Watch as things unfold. Now, here's the thing. Your goals can change. That's all right. So as you grow, as you mature as a person, they may change. So change them. But each day, take steps toward that. And take steps getting out of the rut that you're in. And watch as your life starts to become magical. You start to see God's glory and unfolding everywhere in your life. And you'll be blessed accordingly. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.